Good afternoon. My name's Evan Koch, and I'm your dietitian today.
How's it going?
Nice
Well,
to meet you.
what's going on?
Oh, not too much. Just what brings you in today?
Well, just trying to get some more nutritional help, and basically I'm trying to, smooth out my daily dietary intake, and I was wondering if you could help me out with that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely my job, so I'd be more than happy to help you. Let's try and go through a little bit of your typical diet for like a day, and we can try and go from there.
Sure. So basically I'll wake up, have some coffee, maybe grab a banana or something, head out to work, and maybe have a glass or two of water throughout the day. And other than that, I'll have a lunch meal at about noon, something not too heavy, and then by dinner when that rolls around, I'm usually pretty hungry, so I'll usually binge a little bit more, and I'm trying to cut that out and just kind of round everything out. I was wondering, is there any advice you can give me for that?
Sure. It sounds like you want to be more consistent with what you're eating throughout the day, correct?
Sure, exactly.
So if you want to take that approach, I would say let's start with the first meal of the day. Maybe look at breakfast. So perhaps you were saying something like a coffee and banana. What do you think we could do to improve that?
Well, I think maybe eat something a little bit heavier or that'll fill me up, and then hopefully that'll carry me throughout the day, and then I'm not hungry later on and binging. So what do you recommend that would be good for mornings and sustain energy?
Something that's rich in protein. So often I would recommend something like some eggs in the morning. You could do hard boiled if you want to try and avoid the extra fat, or just maybe fried in a pan,
Okay.
like a non-stick pan. You could do some peanut butter on a bread or something like that, like some toast. What else do you think might be a good option?
I was thinking maybe is yogurt good? That's a little bit higher in protein. Maybe a yogurt with some sustained, maybe like a carb, like a toast with peanut butter. You think would that go good together?
Yeah, that sounds terrific. I really think that you seem like you have a decent grasp of what protein may be in food. So absolutely, yogurt would be a good option. And all the above would be pretty terrific. And that way, you're getting something in your stomach early in the day. You're getting your metabolism started, and then by lunchtime, you're not in that starvation mode. So
Sure.
it's a good option.
Sure.
How do you think that would make you feel?
Well, hopefully a lot better, and that to that effect. If I get a little bit more food in me earlier on, and it's not as heavy, it'll carry me throughout the day, and then I'll have lunch, and then by 3 or 4, I'm not carb overloaded, and then carrying myself into dinner, I'll be able to have something a little bit lighter, so I'm not trying to eat everything all at once.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people do have that issue where they can come home at the end of the day and it's been a long day and just end up having a massive dinner, and we try to avoid that because at that point in the day is when you're resting, so you're not really burning any more calories and maybe you had a ton of food. So how do you think that would add up for a bad picture there?
Well, I think it would definitely help me out with, of course, smoothing out my calorie intake, and then also at night not feeling so full and heavy, and then carrying into the next day. So I think if I'm able to balance out my breakfast, like you were telling me earlier, that would just help with everything in general to feel better.
Yeah, it does sound that way. I mean, definitely when you're at the end of the day and you've had that even food throughout the day, you're definitely in a good position to not be so like sluggish and like feeling like negative when you're going to sleep, which is not really anything anybody wants.
Sure.
So let's see, if we look at trying to improve breakfast,
Okay.
and we think that lunch could be pretty similar to what you're eating, but then improving dinner, I think we'd be in a good position for you to be feeling hopefully better with your diet. If you want to briefly maybe describe about what types of meals you're having for dinner, so we can try and look into that and see where we could work on that.
Sure. Dinner, I try to, of course, do the best I can. Have a well-balanced meal. I try to throw in a protein, maybe a fish, chicken, pork, something like that. Maybe a starch, of course, maybe a potato, sweet potato, something like that, and then a vegetable, some peas or, maybe a salad or something else in there to kind of balance it out. But other than that, I think it's maybe just appetite control,
Mm-hmm. Well, it does sound like with your dinner, you're making smart choices. Lean protein, having a vegetable and the starch is really an ideal plate. But the portion control is something you might want to look into.
Okay.
Absolutely, like we usually use a deck of cards, which is it's similar to about 3 ounces of meat. So on average, what meat portion might you be eating?
Probably a little heavier, maybe 8 or 10 ounces, something a little bit bigger.
Okay.
I think it's just maybe not knowing the correct portion control, so I'm glad that you're able to spell it out for me. But, of course, that's why I'm here to talk to you and learn more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely like eating a large portion of protein is pretty common in our country. The servings you go out to a restaurant and get are unrealistic. So when you're at home, it's nice to be able to know what's going into your meal, and when you learn to control that, it's going to be able to make you feel better throughout the day. And we can get protein from other places besides meat, of course. There's eggs, like we said. You can eat plant-based protein like peanut butter, legumes, beans.
Excellent.
So those are all good options as well if you're trying to do, like a lot of people are starting this meatless Mondays trend, which is pretty popular. And let's see, so we talked about breakfast, trying to get more protein in the morning. It sounds like your lunch is pretty good, but as long as we're trying to avoid those heavy starchy meals to try and not feel so sluggish in the afternoon. And then with dinner, trying to control those portions is going to go a long way. Not having the excessive amount of food that you're used to having.
Sure.
Might just create more balance for you in general. Is there anything else you'd like to address during our first meeting?
Well, no, I think it's been very successful, but moving on, I'd like to maybe discuss maybe a little more tailored food. I'm trying to work out and like to maybe lean up, like a little healthier. But other than that, I think this has been a great first meeting, and I'd love to learn a little bit more next time.
Great. Well, I look forward to our next meeting. We talk a little bit more about those tailored foods and trying to just make sure that you're getting the nutrition you need, but also meeting the exercise goals that you're trying to attain as well.
Great.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
No
Nice
problem.
to meet you.
So nice meeting you as well. You have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
How's that a little better?
Yeah.